Hello and welcome to today's video. So, as I said a couple days ago in a video, that of course there's going to be more Overwatch League news for you guys. And right here on the internet, it says that there is to be a new team, because of course there's expansion teams. There's already 4 known locations. Okay, you got Atlanta, Paris, Guangzhou, Toronto. Number 5 is apparently Melbourne, Australia, which is a bit surprising. I didn't think Australia would be one of the ones. So we know there'll be 2 new teams in the Pacific Division, right? Because let's see, what teams are there? Paris and Toronto are both going to be Atlantic teams. Guangzhou, which is in China, Melbourne is Australia, and Atlanta. So you're probably going to have Atlanta, Paris, and Tokyo? Toronto. Whoa. That would all be Atlantic. So Pacific is going to have Guangzhou and Melbourne. So Melbourne's going to be a team that's it's not officially announced. It'll be officially announced on September 1st, so tomorrow, at Overwatch Contenders Australia Finals, which is going to be owned by Blank Esports, which it says is one of Australia's most prominent esports organizations. They have histories in Overwatch Contenders. And yeah. So their roster competed for 2 seasons, losing the playoffs and quarterfinals. And the organization has former players involved in the Overwatch League. And one of the coaches, the assistant coach of Los Angeles Valiant, was part of the team. So, the team's also competing in the Overwatch World Cup as Team Australia. And they'll compete against China, Denmark, Spain, Sweden, and Thailand. So, apparently it's been rumored for a little bit. Apparently they said it back in June. So, the thing about Paris and Toronto is they're not entirely official, but they are rumored. So, the only official teams right now are Atlanta, Guangzhou, and then Melbourne's going to become official tomorrow, most likely. So, they have 2 slots for each area. That's what it says. It says Melbourne will take up the second of 2 Asia-Pacific slots. So 2 teams in North America, 2 in Europe, and 2 in Asia-Pacific. Because, of course, Guangzhou was added, and that is from China. Of course, Australia is Pacific. So it's the second team from Asia Pacific. So that means that most likely my predictions will not be true of teams that's how they should have, saying Tokyo and Seattle. Apparently it's 2, 2, and 2. So they have 2 North America with Toronto and Atlanta. Oh my god. And then they have 2 Asia Pacific with Guangzhou and Melbourne. So that means that there'll be a Australian team, European team, where apparently in this article it says Blizzard has said in interviews it's focused on Berlin, but has had discussions with potential owners in Spain and Sweden. So, yeah, so that's very interesting to see. Australia, of course, there's not many players that are Australian. One of the announcers is. So there's not many Australians in the Overwatch League, but I'm sure that this will be an addition. And I don't know if they're going to make the Contenders roster into an Overwatch League team, or if they're going to change some of the things up. I'm not really sure. They're going to be like, these are the players we're getting, or if they're going to just take the Contenders team. Which would be interesting, because I don't know if there's a team in Overwatch League that... Now, there has to be teams in Overwatch League that every player is 100% from a country that's all speaking English. Not sure, because I'm pretty sure the only teams that were one language were Seoul, New York, London, and Shanghai originally. But of course, Shanghai added players from Korea So I think only Seoul, New York, and London had players all fluent in just one language. Because those are all 3 Korean teams, and then Shanghai was all Chinese speaking. But of course, they added players from Korea, so they weren't that. So I don't think that there's a team that's all specifically English speaking players, though. So if they added all Australian team, then there would be, which would be interesting. Because I'm thinking the other teams in the league, Los Angeles teams weren't, San Francisco wasn't. I think most teams have a Korean player. So I don't think Dallas has a Korean player, but they have a player from Thailand. Boston has a player from Russia. Philadelphia's got players from everywhere. Florida's got players from Finland, I think, or something like that. Yeah, so I think all the other teams, except for Seoul, New York, and London, have multiple languages, which is interesting. So either way, I think that's interesting. I didn't know that esports was necessarily popular in Australia. If I think of, like, when I think of countries that participate esports, obviously South Korea is the first thing that pops to mind, but then I think America. Like, those are the 2 when I think of esports that I really think of. I don't know what that was, but yeah, if I think of esports, those are the 2 countries top of mind. So I don't know, but apparently there's going to be either a team in Berlin, Spain, or Sweden is really what they're looking at, which is quite interesting. But yeah, it's cool to see other countries getting involved. Obviously, Canada's getting a team, and Australia's getting a team, so it's cool for that, because obviously China's getting a 2nd team. America's getting like a 10th team, I think. Is it 10? Yeah, because London, Seoul, Shanghai were the other 3. Yeah, so they're going to have 10 teams in America, 2 in China, 1 in Korea, 1 in... So France is getting a team. Okay, I was trying to think what other country. France, Canada, and Australia are getting teams that didn't have teams before. So whatever team adds, whatever one they add to Europe will have a new country with a team. So that'd be cool. Because the only, well, Atlanta and Guangzhou are obviously in countries, America and China, that already have teams. So that's cool to see that as a thing. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to see what new other team comes in, because there's only 1 more slot left, and we'll see what they call the teams, because we don't know yet. But it is important to get that deals finalized for Paris, Toronto, and Melbourne, because coming soon is free agency for these teams. I believe starts the 9th. I can pull up the article here. I believe it is the 9th that they have. Yeah, September 9th. The season officially ends. And then all players that are not under contract become free agents and expansion teams. So the 5 known expansion teams can add players. So it'll be important to see if they come up with team names and branding and all that very soon. We'll see probably logos and names just besides cities. So that'll be very interesting to see. I'm excited to see what these names are. But we're up to 18 teams very soon, because right now they're up to 17. I know Power Rank videos are going to be wild to make, but I'm enjoying doing this video. We have 1 more video coming up for you guys with other news about the Overwatch League, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, dab, because dabbing's cool.